How do you feel about being on something called the Boomer Zone, you young fella?
Mate, I'm 2 years off 30. I fit in very well.
What is it? Unless you're a Zoomer these days, you're a Boomer.
Ugh, getting old. Knees are cracking, wrists are cracking, fucking back is out. I don't know how you do it.
Oh, trust me, mate, it gets worse. It only gets fucking worse.
Looking
Okie
forward to it.
dokie. Let's get this up and running. Pressing record. G'day, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of the Boomer Zone podcast. Tonight we have Brimstone, Val1smike, and our special guest is the one, the only, the king of DayZ Down Under, Fubarbundy. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, hell of a title. Sup, boys?
Mike?
Hi.
How you doing, mate?
I'm doing really well. The sun's shining. I've got a cold beer just opened, so everything's really good.
Bit early in the day for you to be having a beer, isn't it?
Well, we'll have a barbecue when we finish a podcast. So
mate,
do
Poms even know how to barbecue? It's like a running joke here that you guys have no idea how to barbecue.
No, probably not, but we can try, can't we? we can pretend. We can go through the motions, but yeah, it's a nice day, so we'll have a nice barbecue.
And what about you, Brim? What have you been up to, mate?
Not a lot, really. You know, it's just surviving and hoping for the best. I think that's all we can all do at the moment.
So, Bundy, how's the streaming going?
Yes. Gotta be honest, I don't quite enjoy the streaming as much as the YouTube stuff, as much as that'll break your heart to hear.
It does, mate, it does, because I love watching you. I know it's a completely different vibe, and I go through dips and troughs myself when it comes to streaming and YouTube, and I'm kind of in a pretty okay place with both of them right now, but yeah, I think you're breaking the hearts of hundreds of people out there, mate, who were excited, and you promised us. And I was sitting there going, don't you fucking do it to me again, Bundy. Because for those who don't know, what's this about your fourth coming back to Twitch?
Yeah, let's go with that, sure. I get energy to do it in spurts, and then I realize it just doesn't work out well for the YouTube content, and then I can't focus on too many things at once.
And that's it kind of leads into the main topic tonight, which we'll get to shortly. But that's a big thing that I know other content creators out there can do it quite easy. You know, the Running Man, Taupe, Minder, and so on. They're easily able to grab these short segments of their gameplay and upload it. But you put a lot more work into your videos.
Yeah, well, those guys, they definitely do the Twitch thing more full time.
Yeah.
I very much am at home with the pre-recorded, content for the YouTube. It's my bread and butter. And I think I've done it for so long now that it's just, I know how to do it and what works best for me. And when I'm trying to focus on a chat and missing questions and comments, and I think, I really wish I had responded to that. I look like an arsehole for not.
I think as long as the video content keeps coming, mate, and the level of work you put into your videos is clearly abundant to anyone who watches them. You know, whether they like the style you do or not, you definitely can see the amount of extra work you put in that a pleb like myself, who pretty much just goes, hey, it's me, watch my funny shit, watch my sucky shit. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Whereas yours is more a production effort.
Too kind, Mr. Boydie, too kind.
I'm a big fan. I've even got my own command in chat for you. When people come in and tell me who they should watch, and I say there's pretty much 3 channels they should watch: Danny Boy, The Lonely Bandit, and Fubarbundy. Not in that order, but because then they're getting exposed to more than just KOS gameplay. Which you can do. You know, your Rampage videos are some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Speaking of which, when's the next one coming? But
those.
they're
It
hard
feels
to
like
do.
every time I play now, it's just going on a rampage because of the way servers are. I've got a cheeky screenshot here. What was it? I went on a 21 player kill streak.
Wow.
That wasn't counting. Yeah, it was. Don't tell anybody, but 1 SK. it's yeah. Too many mods.
Val or Brim, have you ever seen one of Bundy's rampage videos?
I don't think I've seen any of the Rampage ones, but I did recently see I think it's the most recent upload with the sniping over Balota with Mr. Allen, and that was brilliant. And I actually went to the extent of going onto my own server and teleporting myself to that spot with a sniper when no one was on, just to check it out, just to sort of stand in that place and look. And I'm like, that's just because it's different when you see it on a video and you go, oh, that's a really cool spot. But then when you actually go there yourself, you go, actually, that is a fucking awesome spot.
You actually just reminded me. I have to ask Bundy, is that place getting camped like fuck now because of your video?
Well, kinda, but Balota was always a shitfest for thingy because of that one particular server. There's just so many spawns around that particular area.
Yep.
But I think it was in the mod. Was it called Windy Hill or something? Somebody reminded me in the comments. I'm like, yeah, that's right. There used to be like a thing back in the mod.
I don't remember. I hardly even played the mod. You need to ask someone with more pedigree than me.
It rang a bell. Windy Hill, I think it was called.
Yep.
Nice spot.
Anyone in chat know that? Ever hear that term, Windy Hill, before? I've never heard the term before.
Yeah, I don't think too many people use that spot because ever since they changed below the airfield, it's obviously there's not much to snipe at there, but on the particular server we're on, they've decked it out to have all sorts of places to camp in, so it's, very nice.
Okay, so we'll get started with some of the comments. We'll start with the light stuff first. Brim, you posted about DayZ Xbox seems to be growing on the DayZ, and we were actually talking about that in chat earlier as well.
Yeah, I happened to log on to Twitter yesterday evening. Well, it was yesterday evening for me, probably early hours of the morning for you guys. But yeah, I happened to log on, and in fact, I think it was thanks to your Discord actually, because you've got the Twitter bot thing set up for when the DayZ Twitter tweets out, and I spotted it, and I thought, well, I'll have a look at that. And as a former Xbox player myself, I think it's pretty cool, and I think we've had a lot of conversations in the last couple of weeks about DayZ, and with the Bratislava studio shutting down and everyone losing their minds and thinking DayZ's about to die, and I think this just kind of proves the opposite in a sense, and especially if you notice the hashtag as well. The hashtag Xbox Games Pass. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about Xbox, but the Games Pass, you pay, I think it's like £7.99 pence a month, so about 10 Aussie dollars, I would imagine.
Yep.
And you get you get games free, essentially, quote unquote free every month. So for DayZ to be going on to that's pretty it's pretty interesting. So I think that's going to open up, having it on something like that is going to open up for more players to possibly come on, because they will be players that maybe haven't had a chance to play it before, couldn't afford it, especially in our current economic climate around the world. So now they're possibly getting something for free at some point. I mean, granted, if you then don't pay for your Games Pass, it gets taken away, but like you say, 80 more official servers. I mean, I would assume those servers are all going to be roughly 100 slots, give or take. That's a decent number of possible future players coming on. So can only be good news.
And Val, you'd have to assume that some of those people, because I get people coming into my chat every now and then, saying, "Oh, that's cool. Do you know if that's coming to consoles?" So you'd have to assume that some of those people may transfer to playing on PC when they see how good we've got it with some of the mods.
I think so, and I think you've seen a huge shift as well. Like, it was only in the past month or two you've seen people that play Xbox DayZ coming into Twitch chat saying there's very, very many empty official servers. And obviously in the past couple of days I've added 80, so I think it's likely that a lot of people will transition. I actually went the other way. Actually, I started on PC and still played DayZ on PC, but I also bought it on Xbox so I could play with a friend that had bought it on Xbox. So I kind of went the other way, but I was, I suppose, already aware of DayZ and what it was, quite extensively. But I suppose people that may have a taste of it on console and either already have the capacity to play it on PC or are looking at doing that, I think it's likely that people will transition because of the extra things that's on offer on PC. It's a logical step, I think, for some people.
Bundy, are you seeing people commenting in your videos who say they're playing on console and asking you if you're going to play on console?
A couple. I see more comments of curious console players of like, "Ooh, what is this thing in your videos?" And I have to explain it's a mod on PC. I'm sorry, console, but you don't have it. So there's
PC
definitely
Master Race.
a lot of. Oh yeah, don't worry. I get a bit mean on some of them, but like stuff like the mod that I have very hatred for at the moment, the what's it called, the party mod. A lot of console players see that and freak out like, oh my god, he's hacking, he's a cheater, how does he see his friends and his health and stuff?
Yep.
And I have to be like, chill, it is a mod.
I imagine they would get their panties in a bunch, and again that kind of leads into the main topic of tonight, but we've still got another one. Kerbo posted about what is it? Translated some interesting parts about DayZ.
Now I have a machine.
I translated some interesting parts about the DayZ from the interview with the head of marketing at Bohemia Interactive. Helicopters will not be in the game. This was a big article and links to a source video. But since the end of 2019, DayZ have a team of 10 people. The plan for the first half of this year was published in January, and the plan for the second half of this year will be published soon. There is no plan for next year yet, but because it is still being sold, it is an important product for BI. Big sales of Livonia DLC were very surprising. Helicopters will not be in the game, and they have never been promised. DayZ is a successful game even after 6 years. All part of the community was really toxic, but I think it's improving thanks to better communication and trying to release regular updates about every 6 weeks. There are many more positive reactions, which is a sign for me that the marketing team and developers are doing a good job. It's a miracle for me that DayZ is still selling even after 6 years. I like the top. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Was that an internal message from the devs?
No, this was in an interview that he did. I'll bring the link up and I'll post it in the chat so you guys could see it, and I'll post it in the stream chat as well. Just waiting for it to load. Got to love Australian internet. So this is... Okay, it's in another language, so we wouldn't be able to understand it. It's in Czech or something. They're all wearing face masks and that. But he's translated it for all of us. The last comment, I like the first comment on this post. It's a miracle for me that DayZ is still selling even after 6 years. That is a terrible way to think about it. DayZ hasn't been out for 6 years. You cannot consider early access to be part of the release window. That time was spent developing the game. The years we spent putting up with terrible bugs and performance while we waited for it to be finished should not be thought of as a release product. I actually really agree with that. I know you can argue that, yes, it has been out, but we endured some fucking terrible shit. And if they were to turn around and say, it's done now, no, motherfuckers, no. You keep them working on this bitch. There's a lot of life in this old girl yet.
I think a lot of people forget that it was in alpha for a while as well. I think that's a valid point that person's brought up, that it was in alpha and we can't necessarily count that as the game. Granted, we can't turn around and say, oh, this it's a new game, so to speak. But like you say, it was in alpha for way too long. Let's be honest. But it was essentially a testing phase. That's entirely what alpha and beta are for. It's for testing, squashing bugs, and and then hopefully polishing up that product ready for release. And we can all sit here and debate whether or not we think DayZ's polished and ready for release, but at the end of the day, it's that's entirely what it's there for. And I think it's quite interesting then that if you notice below that Jacob from Bohemia, who's a community manager, has then commented back as well, and that I think the first paragraph of what he writes there is quite interesting, based on the fact that it's basically what we've seen before, saying that he's the new community manager of DayZ. You can expect the communication from DayZ's side is going to improve significantly. If you ever need anything, DM me on Twitter and I'll get back to you ASAP. And I think, whilst I think that's a good thing, I cannot fault him for commenting that, doing that exactly what he's supposed to be doing, and I hope that continues. But I think he's got to realise, and a lot of people are going to realise, that we've seen that before. As a community, we've seen community managers come and go, and everyone's always said, yes, we're going to have loads more communication, you're constantly going to hear from us, blah, blah, blah. And then we just get absolutely nothing for like a month. And you think, well, that's not really in keeping with what you've said you're going to do. So I think it's going to be an idea to keep an eye on that and just see how that pans out in the near future.
I think for me it sort of highlights as well, how in a way how ineffective some of the communication from DayZ has become in some senses, because I think people have been asking the question for 6 months now, how many people are working on DayZ, and there's never been, as far as I know, a concrete answer until obviously this article was released. And I think there probably needs to be some sort of unification when it comes to what's said and what's not, I suppose. I think if you've got Bohemia maybe answering things, which of course is their prerogative to do because it's their game, but I think when it comes to the point when people are communicating with DayZ like they would do normally and not getting answers, and then the answer comes sort of through the back door like this, it probably would annoy some people, I would think.
Bundy, you've been critical of the game over the years. Famously remember you crouching next to Pics, I think it was, at that content creator event we did and saying fix your game and then running off before you got banned. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
No recollection of the incident in question. You're
No,
right.
I don't know. No, yeah.
What do you think of it now?
I don't even know who any of the community managers are anymore.
Yeah.
Usually I'd see something on Twitter, Baty gets retweeted by X content creator or something, and be able to keep up that way. But now I don't know who's who anymore.
The only one I know is Anna. That's the first time I've heard the name Jacob. But they've, and I kind of can't blame them for it. They've gone more through, they want you to communicate with the DayZ official account now. Whereas Baty and Martin, even Esmos, were very open to messages to their accounts. Now they want you to preferably communicate directly through the DayZ account itself. Kind of sad.
Probably a good thing for them though, when you consider the amount of shit and abuse I've got over the years. I think I wouldn't want my DMs open to the sort of river of toxicity that they get thrown at them. I think I would like to try and keep separate from that if it was me, but
yeah. Well, that's
I agree with that one.
Sorry, Bundy?
So that was just a really good point. I could only imagine, say, like a Baty, the amount of shit you would get simply just from trying to release a little bit of information about the game.
Yeah.
But then if you as well, I completely agree. But if you look at a lot of big companies, like your big internet service providers and things like that on Twitter, you'll notice quite a lot that, especially if it's down as a support Twitter, so you've got like the main company Twitter and then that company's support, you'll notice that when people are tweeting them and they get tweeted back by someone from that account, it then says their name at the bottom. So it'll say, oh, I'm really sorry you've had this issue. Shoot us a DM so we can figure out what's going on. Thank you, Dave from IT or whatever else, So I think maybe if they gave the community managers the login info for the main DayZ account, and then had it so they sign off each message or each tweet, so to speak. So that way it looks a bit more professional in general, but also then it's saving that person, that community manager's DMs from being absolutely destroyed, which we all know is exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it also means then that it looks like they're actually doing their job, and they are essentially they're getting that opportunity to engage with the community in their way, but doing it through the official channels, making essentially a win-win and everyone happy. I would have thought in general anyway.
I do feel for them though with the whole personal account thing, and yeah, we all know in the past what's happened with Brian, Dean. Yeah, you mentioned Baty as well. Did any of you ever watch the live streams they did? And when Baty came on the camera, oh my fucking God, some of the guys carried on like bloody twats.
Horn dogs, dirty horn dogs,
weren't they? It was you'd think they'd never seen a girl before.
That's the internet summed up for you.
Oh, it was. I don't know. Just yeah.
I'd love to hear them or watch them type that in front of their mothers.
Yes.
Just see what happens.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I think for some of them, that's probably half the problem.
True.
Some Norman Bates shit going on, I think.
Oh, okay. The big topic of the night.
Uh-oh.
Mylo the average sniper. Who watched the video?
Yeah, I did sit and look through it.
I seen the vest thing and thought, no, I'm good.
The vest thing, the exploding vest. Look,
yeah.
Ultimately, for me, like to fill in those who don't know, Milo's had incidences in the past. I wasn't aware of them. I just generally, if I like a video, I like it. I don't sit there and analyze it. But Milo's had videos where he's clearly scripted it and at times used God mode or some other admin tool to prevent himself from taking damage. Now, I personally have no issue with it if it's for scripted content, but my issue comes from the fact that he was doing this on servers where other people were playing and possibly paying, as you know, as most communities these days, you can pay to support the server. And if they were to be raided or killed and lose all of their good gear to someone who's running God mode to prevent themselves from taking damage, which I haven't actually seen any footage of him in a firefight to see if that's the case, but in the video, you could clearly see he goes freezing cold, he takes no damage. He goes red hungry, he takes no damage. Then he's red hungry and red thirsty, and he's still taking no damage. I've had numerous links sent to me showing me other stuff where he hasn't taken fall damage and where ammunition just suddenly miraculously turns up or his inventory changes between scenes. And if you're going to script it, just make it public is what I say.
Yeah, I think what I said in the podcast agenda on Discord as well, with like I say, being a server admin myself, I know that if you stick on God mode, when you again, it depends on the admin tool set he's using. But for us on our server, when you activate or deactivate God mode, a notification comes up on your screen that stays for about 10 seconds or so, that says God mode activated, God mode deactivated, or something along those lines. And I noticed in his video, I'm just trying to see where I mentioned it. Where are we at? Because there was a part, there we are, jump cut in the video. I mean, he's taken it down now, but jump cut in the video at 35 minutes and 17 seconds in. So at that point, that's after he's already gone red hungry, red thirsty, and still not lost health, freezing to death, still not lost health. And he basically pushes the guy who's in the big prison tower.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, to be fair to him, scripted or not, it was a decent play. The play he made, you know, making the guy think he was going one way, but then juking him and going the other, was a decent play. But at that point, he goes for, if you notice a couple of seconds before the video, he's got full health, you know, and his food and drink is whatever. But then suddenly that video sort of jump cuts forward, and then he's down to about 3/4 health. So he's not quite in yellow. He's still in white health, but it's considerably. You can see it's lower. And I think I agree with you, Boydie. Like I say, if it's for scripted content and everyone's in on it, and everyone that my thing is everyone he killed in that video, if he's turned around to all of them and said, look, do me a favor, would you like to be in the next video? Here's what I need you to do. I'm going to kill you. Here's a bunch of gear I've spawned in for you because I'm the admin of this server. Here you go. Just come and join in. Let's have a laugh, and I'll chuck it in the next YouTube video and credit you in the comments or something. Then bang, happy days. Get on with it, mate. Good video. Hope you enjoyed your day. But like you say, if those people are paying, if they're donating to the server, and I know some servers actually offer that if you pay X amount per month, you get priority queuing. Now I don't know how that works, but again, if those people are paying that, and then they are getting killed by someone who's unfairly using admin powers, then I think that's a big no-no.
See, one of the reasons I wanted to get Bundy on tonight was there's been a lot of other content creators out there. Like at the top of my screen, you can see the tweet from the king of DayZ, the Running Man. I think I'm going to set up my own modded servers and play on them, fly helis around, not lose health when I'm blue flash and temp or red hunger and thirst. Then once I've got enough footage, I'll pass it off as legitimate DayZ and make all the monies. How do you feel yourself? Because you like we said at the beginning, Bundy, you put a lot of fucking work in. And one of the things I've said to people, the reason why you take so long is it takes a long fucking time for you to get something that you think is good enough to upload. That's legitimate gameplay. What are your thoughts on this?
I'm also lazy as well, but I think his last little comment is what has got a lot of people's feathers ruffled, is that he's passing us off as legitimate game, where there's actual people that are, working their asses off years to hone their PvP skills, and he's just like, oh yeah, look at me, set this up, and I'm a PvP god.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a tough one, and after the podcast tonight, I'll be ending the interview. Ending the stream, and I'll be doing an interview with him. And I've already had a bit of a chat with him, and he seems like a nice young lad. He is quite young. I think he's 19 years old. So kind of reminds me a bit of young JLK. The issue he had with using the ESP, was it?
Oh, I think one of his videos, he actually had the, if I'm not mistaken, he had the admin map open on whatever admin tools he was using at one point in a video. He was running across a field and opened up the map, and it's an interactive admin map that shows you the exact live positions of players on the map. So I think he was using that to see where he was going rather than using the in-game map.
And Val, the hard part for guys like this, when something like this comes out, is there's always going to be that cloud of suspicion over them.
I think it's difficult for people to. Sorry, I think it's difficult.
You go.
I think it's difficult for people to break away from that cloud, isn't it? I know JLK has had a lot of success since then, and I think
he's booming.
He's clearly owned up to his mistakes, and he's making quality content, I think. But I think one thing I think it's important to say is that there's an awful lot of pressure on younger up and coming YouTubers, strictly in terms of age maybe, I think feel more and more pressure to rush to be successful, I suppose, in a sense. And I think it's difficult, and I think some people do cut corners, but even though I personally think what he did was shit, I think some of the reaction to Mylo and also JLK when he did it has been unfair too. I don't think they necessarily deserve some of the shit that's been thrown at them. I don't think.
And thank you for saying that, Val, because at the end of the day, he didn't kill anyone. He didn't do anything that broke any laws that I'm aware of. He did a silly thing in a video game.
You see people like deifying Joe Exotic, and then they want to, crucify Mylo for using admin tools on a YouTube video. Don't get me wrong. I think that what he did was clearly, unfair and shitty and dishonest. But I think, frankly, it's a YouTube video on a computer game, and even though it's a computer game that we all love and we all love watching content, I think some of the abuse that it's got is categorically wrong. I think.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna have to wait until, as well, with Boydie, you having that interview with him, that spotlight coming out to find out what the whole process was for that video as well. Because I think, I completely agree what Mike just said. At the end of the day, it's a video game. Take your fucking knickers out your ass. Don't get such a wedge about it. It's just fun. It's all shits and giggles. Like I say, no one's died. No one's broken any laws. There's no need to be so toxic as some of the community unfortunately are. But I think once we get some answers, once the community gets some answers and we know, what the whole deal was, was it a fully scripted video? Were the people involved? I think in a lot of senses, context matters. So having that context of what's happened is quite important in this sense.
The big thing for him, though, Bundy, is if you do a simple search of the Reddit, DayZ Reddit, and you type in MTAS, there's been a number of complaints, and not just about his videos, but about the whole MTS Playground servers as well, and the behaviour of some of the admins. So I think there's a lot that needs to change.
I think the first time I spotted his videos, Alan pointed it out to me on Reddit, and it was the one. It wasn't the one where he had a questionable couple of kills and his health magically went back up. It was some video when he was in the snow and he was in some tree line around a barn, and he was just wrecking dudes with a sniper. But the dudes he was wrecking were playing like bots, just absolute bots. They weren't shooting back, and it was clearly scripted because they were fumbling around waiting to get shot. But the second video that was in the post was the one where he was in some tree line and he just took two dudes out, and then he just got shot in the back, and he was down to limping. He was limping away, and then all of a sudden, 3 magical red arrows come up in his health, and he's sprinting again. Not sure what happened. He could have had a mate sitting there with admin ready to, click heal player, because I've seen the admin tools, and you can do that. But whether that was available then, I'm not sure. Just very questionable. Some dodgy stuff.
Lax has just written in chat, JLK is a good kid. Also takes guts to admit that he did do wrong. I think it shows you his maturity. I actually had a chat with JLK this week as well, just to touch base with him, see how he's doing, and also to discuss the Mylo thing. But I won't go into it too much, but he actually got dragged into it in a sense, which will come out in the interview when I upload it. But I've got a soft spot for JLK. I've got a soft spot for troubled people as well. I love Bundy so much.
How dare you? How dare you?
I've noticed no denial there, though.
I'm terrible.
You're terrible, Muriel.
I am. I'm a bad man.
Mate, we have flown through it tonight, so we're on to the
Also,
last segment. Oh, sorry.
I was going to say real quickly, just to play a little bit of devil's advocate for old average guy, Sniper, Mylo, is that he's obviously very, very inspired by Frankie.
Yes.
And we all know his stuff is very scripted in a controlled environment. He's obviously tried to do the same, but has copped a lot of flack for it, yet people love Frankie. Thoughts?
It's actually something I'm going to be bringing up tonight, and something I did say with him in the conversation I had earlier this week, that it came back to, I think I said the same to JLK, that people will move on, mate. I know it's bad at the moment, but people will move on and they'll forget about this. And you've only got to look at Frankie. You mentioned Frankie's name in fucking Reddit, and you get it's almost a 50-50 split. Well, actually, it's not 50-50. You've got about 10% on each extreme and the 80% in the middle who go, I don't care as long as it's a good video. I can watch it and go, wow, that was very well done. I'm happy with it. And then you got the 10% on one side going, he's a fucking cheater, he's a scumbag. And the other 10% going, he's the fucking God's gift to DayZ and all the rest of it. And the majority in the middle just, as long as it's a good video, I'll be happy.
Because Frankie definitely does pass his stuff off as this is real. This is me playing DayZ, and Milo's obviously done the same, but different levels of flack, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the difference, wasn't it, was that the allegations against Mylo was that it wasn't in a controlled environment, was it? I think some people that have appeared in his videos were probably not aware that they were either going to be in the video or facing somebody that had, God mode 10 on or whatever. So I think, whereas Frankie at least appears to be, everybody was in on the joke, I suppose, whereas with Mylo it seems that people were unwittingly brought into it, I think.
But were they, to begin with Frankie? From what I understand, Frankie's stuff started out as genuine raw interactions and then evolved into more scripted stuff. So was it a definite point where he said, enough, we're going to script it now, or was it an eventual evolution? We'll never know.
Well, we might know. He's looking like he's on about coming back, apparently. So you never know. We might end up getting an answer eventually, but I think we're going to have to wait and see. I think the problem is one thing that I've noticed on Twitter over the years quite a lot, bringing back up guys like JLK as well. Seeing guys like him on Twitter. A lot of people, for some reason, a lot of content creators on DayZ, I've noticed over the years that they've put tweets out, to sort of say, not streaming tonight, or no video this week for this reason, that reason. And one of the reasons I've noticed is people saying, oh, not got enough, played for 12 hours, didn't get any good footage, not got enough to put up. And I think when you are creating the type of content that Frankie is, or was, I should say, and will be, hopefully, and the type of stuff that Mylo does, where it's really well done, and it's really cinematic and what have you, and it's not just, a montage of kills at Northwest Airfield, I think that does take time. But when you've got people saying, oh, there wasn't enough for content, I played for 12 hours, didn't get any good content, you think, how can you play a game like DayZ for 12 hours and not get enough for good content? Granted, I understand making it, having a really good video and trying to match up to what you've put out before, but there's so many different, like you say, interactions. You jump onto the first, heavily populated server, and you're, within half an hour, 40 minutes, you're probably going to have enough content in one way or another to put up a YouTube video of some description.
But it's the curse of the bigger guys. Like, I see it with Bundy, I see it with Lax. Lax streams a lot, and the minute someone knows it's Lax, they start to change. They'll either they'll ruin it and they'll ruin the interaction, and Bundy gets this a lot as well, or they'll just do the most offensive, annoying, they'll play copyrighted music, and there goes whatever that interaction was, it's useless to them. Do you get that a lot, Bundy?
Yeah, a little bit. It's more of the people that it clicks, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to be this certain type of way. So then he thinks, I'm going to put this guy in a video because something interesting's happening, but it's very obvious that they know.
The behavior of some players out there, like I was watching the Loyal Patriot stream a week or two ago, and the people he bumped into recognized him, and they just turned into the most toxic people. They were, I think they started I can't remember exactly what they did to him, but they made the comment, Hicks isn't here to save you now. And it was like,
ouch.
What the man? Hicks hasn't been attached to DayZ in what, over 2-3 years now? What are you going on about? Bogan's just written in chat.
Bogan.
Who was the person? No, I actually know what it was. He was one of the people making videos playing on the 420 servers when they had stolen the 6.3 code. So the people he ran into, Bogan, were those people. I think that's what he's meaning. He also said, I feel like this isn't the first time Mylo has been caught for abusing admin powers. Would I be wrong on that? No, you're not wrong. From what I understand, you're not wrong.
I think what Bogan's saying is that he thinks Mylo was the one of the people making videos on the 420 servers back in the day when they had the stolen 6.3 code.
Oh,
I could be wrong on that. If Bogan
Okay.
wants to feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, I'll admit incorrectness if I am.
I'll ask.
He is from New
Milo
Zealand,
that.
so we need a translator.
Low blow, low blow. But yeah,
Shipshagger.
yeah, that is the curse though for some of the bigger guys. You know, you see it all the time with the Running Man, with Tope, with Minder. They beg people at the same time, but you can't help it as well. Boken just said, "Wow, Stephen."
Love you, Bogan.
Love you. But yeah, it is a curse for them in that people change when they recognise who it is. They either get toxic or they go fanboy, or yeah.
I do have to
does
admit,
make it hard.
I'm pretty lucky that most people just wanted to do the high five thing and are very nice. So I'm very fortunate and lucky that I haven't had to deal with that at least.
Yeah. But
I'm not popular enough to have to worry.
I had that same issue. And you do seem to, you're a bit like Lax and Benfruit in some way, in that because it's a bit crazier the stuff you get up to, people are more than happy to go along with it. The more serious guys, they tend to get trolled a bit more by the Zoomers and
Yeah, they like to be a little bit more on the serious side, whereas if somebody wants to mouth off to me, they're going to get back.
And what happened to Alan? Did you ask him if he wanted to come along tonight?
I did. I sent him a message. He didn't reply. He hates me.
Oh.
He's just got a fair bit of stuff. That adult life. Some things in life that need attending to.
And actually, in case
he's always around though.
In case anyone watches this podcast, did Alan ever get his dick pics?
My answer's always the same, Boydie. That's none of your concern. What may Alan do is between us. All I'll say is, I've been to his place before. I've stayed with the man many times.
Hubba hubba.
I'll leave the rest of your imagination.
You're going to be making some
premium Snapchat links.
Oh, they'll be making some Stimpy thumbnails. Have any of you guys seen Stimpy's thumbnails?
Fucking love them.
I was watching him stream earlier today, and someone asked him how he comes up with it, and oh my god, he says he doesn't watch the actual videos. He just Google searches gay porn images and then just goes to town.
Oh, that ruins it. That would have been hilarious if all he has to do is sit through an entire porn video of some dude to take a screen.
Do you guys know who we're talking about?
The name rings a bell.
He's not quite. He's a very large Australian YouTuber, and he predominantly plays games like DayZ and Rust. And he's very chaotic. He likes chaos, but he has this thing where he does his thumbnails for all his videos. Actors, I don't know if you call them actors, from gay porn videos. And he just puts clothes on them and stuff like that. And he usually always tries to find them when they've got funny facial expressions. And he dresses them up like they're a character in the game. And you just, every time I see, because I'm subbed to him on YouTube, and every time I see Stimpy has uploaded a new video, I'm like, oh God, I've got to look at the thumbnail again. Here we go.
It just looks like he's put it in paint and just colored over it as well.
They're the dodgiest. You've got to check it out. You've got to check it out.
I'm doing so now. I'm currently on his page and I've gone on to uploads and I'm just scrolling down his page and looking at all these fucking thumbnails.
Because you can tell
I'm thoroughly disgusted.
It's just a dude with a dong in his mouth.
Yeah. Oh.
But he's coloured it in. It's so good. Or he replaces it with a knife or something.
Oh, he's the best one's 4 months ago, only in Rust number 12, and it's someone being choked and says mad. Mad 'cause bad. That is horrendous.
Now, Aussie Rogues just put a comment in chat. Hey, I think they can do what they want. I won't support it or watch their videos because I know they are fake and it takes something away from it for me. But I also ain't going to be toxic about it. There is no right or wrong way to make videos. The only caveat I'll put on that, But the only caveat I'll put on that is there is a wrong way when you're impacting on the gameplay of other people, especially if those people have paid money to play on that server. If they paid to support it and then they're being fucked over. And some of the messages I've received, some people are very upset about it. And making some pretty big accusations, which I'll be discussing with Mylo. But yeah, that is the only issue I have with what he's done. If he wants to make scripted videos, more power to him. There's a market for it. You know, Frankie proved that. And your videos like Mr. Blackout's Diaries and that, people love a story in DayZ. And if you're good enough to come up with a storyboard and then act it all out, especially now, I imagine there's a big market for it. But yeah, you just need to be clearer and make people aware that they're going to be involved in it as well, because some of the accusations are a bit okay. Favorite videos you've watched this week, fellas? Bundy, have you watched any YouTube videos?
DayZ related or just videos?
DayZ related preferably, but if there's anything else.
I can't say I watch a whole lot of DayZ stuff nowadays. It's just very convoluted in squad wiping and base raiding, and it all meshes together and seems the same to me. But
what's the best video you last watched?
DayZ related?
Yeah.
I honestly can't remember the last time I watched a DayZ video from start to end.
Oh my god, you've just
you've
broken the heart of so many aspiring people.
I'll go through my history and I'll see what I've watched.
While he does that, what about you, Brim?
Well, I think not to blow smoke up the asses of the people in the room, but I think, like, say, Fubar's video on with Alan on the sniping on the hill over Balota was probably the most recent DayZ YouTube video. I watched it when it came out a couple of months back because it popped up on my recommended, but then I did watch it earlier before. I did watch it before this podcast just to be like, you know what, I'm going to watch it again because I wasn't sure if I had seen it. So I thought, you know what, if I have, at least I'm seeing something I enjoy. One way or other, it works out, and it was funny. But I've just popped onto YouTube and noticed that Septic Falcon has uploaded a new video 2 days ago as well. Parachute C130 test and more on the DayZ expansion. So I think that's going to be something I shall be watching after this podcast as well. See how the expansion guys are coming along.
I'm going to have to be really fucking boring and say the last video I watched was the one that Brim just mentioned, the Septic Falcon's last video. I also watched Sada's videos on the DayZ expansion. I also watched, I think some of the best ones I'm watching is, as I mentioned to Boydie last time, was Danny Boy's series. Yes. I watched the more recent one of that as well. But yeah.
Bundy, what was it?
I completely forgot, but I watched Mr. Benfruit's little highlight video.
Oh, his morning. April highlight video one, yeah.
Yeah, I completely forgot. How dare I? Love good old Benjamin.
I actually went back and watched one from a couple of weeks back. Archie Stormcloud, sad soup, trolling, griefing players with chemicals and gasoline. He's a mean, mean man. He is a very mean man, Bundy. Have you ever watched him?
I can't say I have.
He basically filled a bunch of water bottles in this one with gasoline, and you'd meet up with random people, and then you just say, oh, do you need a water bottle? Yeah, I just saw one over there. And the person would go and pick it up, and no one ever checks to make sure it's just water in the water bottle, and they drink it. And then, oh, you've got cholera, mate. We need to get you sorted. And just, here's some medicine, and he'll get alcohol tincture and just keeps on poisoning him. And it is mean, but oddly satisfying watching someone trolling the fuck out of DayZ players. I
like the bad star.
Oh, I'll give you a link to his channel, mate. He's a nasty boy when it comes to what he does to people in the game.
That gasoline trick—that's an old that's an old Hellfire trick. He used to do that years ago, long before I was on DayZ. He used to do that. I'd go around his house and say, "Oh, what? Come and check this out. Look, I'm running around with this guy, and I've given him gasoline to drink." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you on about, man?" And then he'd explain it to me. I'm like, "You horrible bastard."
Yeah. But you can't do the old rotten kiwis, force feed them to people now. Well, actually, they need to bring that back. The old Dean zombie and the chance of finding a kiwi on it, and sometimes it was rotten, and it was just a nice little Easter egg in the game.
One of my favorite stories of trolling is from the Alan. He always recollects the time he would find people, take them as far out past the west that he can, like past debug, and just keep going, and then go some more, and then go a little further, break their legs, take everything, and then leave. Just leave them out there with nothing.
Now.
They'd be stuck out there with nothing to do, can't kill themselves, just have to wait until they starve.
Oh,
Classic Alan move, that one.
That is horrendous.
That is terrible. That is terrible. Oh my god.
That is so bad that it's awesome.
I didn't know him back then, but he always tells me about it. It's fucking amazing.
Have either of you two watched Dick Pics?
Beg pardon?
Have either of you two ever watched Dick Pics?
Oh god, it
Can't say I have.
for us.
You need to go.
I was going to say out for me
you
at first.
need to go through Fubarbundy's archive. It's probably 4 years old, that video now.
I can check real quick.
And it's when Alan and Bundy legitimately, apparently, this is what Bundy says to me, and Bundy would never lie. It's how they first met, and it's in game, and made for one of the funniest videos. If I recall correctly, you said Alan was blind, rotten, drunk, and just trolling people. And you became the target of his affection.
He was shit-faced that night, he tells me. Well,
it's one of Bundy's classic videos. That, Rampage 3, and probably La Familia.
And apparently we'd had a couple encounters beforehand, but never actually proper ones.
That's
one
right,
of them was actually in a video, and someone pointed it out, and they're like, dude, you've met Alan before Dick Pics. I'm like, what? And I seen it when it was just like 10 seconds of an interaction.
Yeah,
I've just found it and posted it both in Discord and in your Twitch chat, Boydie.
Yeah, it is a very, very good video. And I love the weird people in DayZ, and now he's one of your best friends.
Oh yeah, it's after that video, he's seen the video and left a comment, and of course I had the comment before, oh, that's me in the video. I'm like, okay, sure, well done. But it actually was him, and then he eventually added it. No, we ran into each other again in Reunion, and then that's when we added each other, and then slowly progressed. There's friends there, and now IRL best buds.
That's awesome, and that's one of the great things. I know you can get it in other games, but DayZ is a special game for me, and I love the fact that we've made so many good friends, all of us through this game. People we've got to meet IRL, people we've never met IRL but speak to and chat with, and yeah. What's
funny is the video following Dick Pics is the first time I met Match as well. So it was like met pretty much the two most important people in my life right now within the span of the same 2 videos.
Yep.
Happy days.
Very, very happy days. Very, very happy days.
That's why I miss the old Cherno, because
yes,
some fond memories there.
I've had suggested to me to do a spotlight interview with I think his name's Benny, the guy behind Deer Isle. And one of my missions in life at the moment is to find someone who can recreate the old Chernarus map with blue square, triple yellow, below the tents, no tizzy, just the big forest. Maybe even do a monster one, which combines, puts tizzy in, but leaves the old Myshkino Tents, because I don't think Myshkino Tents were on the original Chernarus map, were they?
No.
But Myshkino, when they first brought it in, that was a place of fucking terror. To go down into those tents, you needed balls of steel to go into those tents, because guaranteed, especially on the Pipsy server, there was going to be 3 or 4 motherfuckers up on the hills on either side waiting for that one fucking noob named Boydie to go running in there to try and fucking survive the dash. And the minute you got out of the tree line, they'd wait until you're about 100 meters out of the trees, and then all hell unleashed and fucking sniper bullets rain down on you.
I still hate it.
It's still the same now.
Yeah, for them reasons.
But it was worse before because the mountains were just so steep on both sides.
Yeah, I think there's a heli crash site next to it as well, if I'm not mistaken. If you keep heading, trying to get me, I think north, where that sort of industrial area is next door to Myshkino Tents now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a heli crash between the tents and that little industrial area. So if you find a heli crash there as well, especially on vanilla, with Myshkino Tents being right there, you are pretty much just cacking yourself constantly.
D-Hop's just giving us a hashtag we need to get trending on Twitter. Bring back old Chernarus.
Ah, fucking Hop. Miss that guy.
But yeah, like even old Electro. The police station that was opposite the town square and just so many places. I even miss the old altar. I know that place was very special to the last special guest we had, barely infected, but the old altar, just the ring of stones that was up there. Pipsy used to do events where you had to be the last crew standing inside the ring of stones, and just I do miss some of the memories attached to the old map. I know I've got new memories attached to the new stuff, but yeah, I don't know about you guys. I think I said it last week, but I've been getting very sentimental about the old days of DayZ lately.
Well, it's funny Mr. Hop jumps in because we're working on my own new server that would be working on, pretty secretly in the depths. And I even asked the question, can we edit Chernarus? Because I would put so much time into recreating it, but you can't change vanilla objects in DayZ, so you can't delete stuff. And
the one is saying in chat, importing of older terrain probably will get Bohemia Interactive pissed off due to licensing. Content like terrain is locked behind that. It's unfortunate. But
yeah,
I imagine someone could try to recreate it, but I imagine that would be a massive task.
If even possible, yeah. But I've also had the idea of making a video that I'd probably entitled like Nostalgia or something, and jump in the old Arma 3 editor with the old Chernarus map and just reminisce.
You know what I would love someone of your editing skill to do? It's an idea I've had jumping around in my head. And it needs someone who can edit well, like you or anyone else who's up to the task. But I would love to see a video, 10 to 15 minutes of just the catalogue of DayZ standalone from when it first released and all the shit we've endured, like fucking, the campers, like go through each patch, and each patch brought its own new challenges to us, whether it be when people figured out how to fucking glitch into the statues or glitch into the floor in the Camo Building, the dying to steps, the 0.55 famine, the 0.57 when all the loot was spawning on the coast, and just a real reminiscent nostalgia of just all the shit that we've been through the years in DayZ.
The Berezino deathmatch had to be one of the funnest patches, in my opinion, when you'd always be a group of people camp in the apartments, and you'd have an army of freshborns coming back for solid revenge. It was good times.
Those apartments in Berezino were pretty cool. They were. And like you said, 0.57, when you could, just spawn, run to the nearest guard shack, and there was always an AK-74 and a backpack and ammo and just loot explosions. There's another one. Loot explosions were the first time you saw one, you just walked in, and I think everyone uttered the same 3 words. What the fuck? And then the shock wore off, and you just ran in there and quickly snaveled everything that was good.
Like a loot goblin.
The one, bring back loot explosions. There's... we at the time, it was very frustrating, but I look back with fond memories on some of those. The every time you'd go out of a building and you took that sharp intake of breath, like, am I going to die to this step or am I going to survive? And yeah, even through to this year. Oh.
Oh God, that brings back some memories. I feel old now.
Yeah, we've been around the block, all of us. But even, it's even as current as this year with the fucking horrid patch they dropped for Christmas with that inventory bug that just had people. I was getting ready to go postal.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
If you ask me what was the worst bug, I would probably have to say the broken bone death, when you are dead and you were like, what the fuck? What? I walked down a step. And then the second one after that is the inventory bug. It was terrible.
I think the most frustrating one was the underground swimmers.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember that.
I do.
People would like sneak their way under the map and they'd be swimming along and then they could
How did they
punch
do
you.
that? I never learned
I actually
how to
had
do
a
it.
video on it. It's called glitches or something because I didn't know what else to make, and it's the only content I had was literally watching people glitch and bullshit on the game. So I made a video of it, and I think it was myself and I was about to say Madre, but Joanna, Joito, and some dude literally does it right in front of us. I record the whole thing and questioned whether I should put it up online, especially because I didn't want people to repeat it, but it's funny.
Yeah. And like I said, you look back on those things, it was frustrating. Like, I don't know whether you guys watched the video I did on the DayZ expansion mod, but they handed me one of the weapons they played with, and they created a UMP that actually shoots arrows. But they didn't tell me what it did. They just handed me a UMP with a 250 round mag, and I was like, and they said just point it at the wall and shoot it, and I was like, okay, what's this? And I started shooting it, and I'm looking at the impacts, and I'm going, what is that? And I walk up, and it's arrows. And it reminded me of way back in one of the very early patches when the hackers worked out how to shower you with a hailstorm of arrows, which would basically kill you instantly. You'd just see this line of arrows just appearing on the ground. And I was like, holy shit. And it brought back a memory, albeit a bad one, but it was like, holy shit. I'd forgotten all about and there was a time there where they could nuke the server. I don't know how the hell they were doing that, but
yeah, I remember they used to draw dicks right in front of you on the road in arrows.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yep.
Oh shit, it's going back a while.
I still do that now, but with loose pieces of paper.
Oh, dirty man.
Lax is saying, remember when you could get stuck in a house, you'd log out and you'd log back in, and fucking you were stuck underneath. The Red 2 story used to get me all the time.
The green, I'm not sure if it's actually still there up at the northwest, just north of it somewhere. There used to be a green, an elevated green somewhere off, and I remember I got stuck in there once, and I was committed to getting out, and I think I've spent 4 or 5 hours in there.
I had fun on DayZ Underground once. I ended up stuck in a building and I just couldn't work out. I tried everything. Everyone said, start sprinting and then Alt F4 and you'll keep it running out, and nothing was working. And
pull
then
the Ethernet cable out, restart the modem, all of it.
And in the end, I saw a bunch of players at the other end of town. It was the town just to the south of Vybor and VMC, and I could see out, as you can when you're stuck underneath. They obviously didn't know I was in there, so I just started shooting. Oh fuck! It turned a shitty situation into so much fun because they had no idea where the shots were coming from. They couldn't see the fucking, and it was probably mean of me and probably enough to have got me banned, and I probably will get banned now from DayZ Underground. But I didn't hit anyone.
Cheat.
You can't shoot from out. Well, at least I didn't know you could. But all they could hear was all these shots. All I had was a 22. So even if I had hit them, I probably wouldn't have fucking done anything to them. But it was just so much fun watching these guys ducking and peeking and crawling and trying to work out where these shots were coming from. And they didn't come close, but they were fucking watching, circling around and just laughing the whole time, going, you poor buggers, you've got no idea I'm stuck in here. I was kind of hoping someone would come up and I could say, hey, I'm stuck in here and can we do anything? No? Okay. I'll drop all my gear and maybe you can get it. But no, it was fun watching them all run around.
I would have been disappointed if you didn't do that.
I didn't want to F11.
Oh, what was that? I had some other one popping in. The Apple glitch. I suppose, Amanda, if your prestige would not stoop to the level, but it was a thing for so long.
It depended on the server.
Yeah?
When in Rome, when I played on Pipsy, I Apple glitched like a motherfucker. But when I played on like a DayZ Down Under or DayZ Underground, I never Apple glitched because it was a more serious, more hardcore experience. But why disadvantage yourself when everyone else is doing the same thing? You know, you'd sit there and you'd watch. Like a lot of people used to make a big deal out of apple glitching, and I was like, what's the point? It's a
so many
fucking
people took a high horse.
didn't they? D-Hop
Remember
is saying
watching
I was a dirty
Minder
fucking
once.
apple glitcher. Sorry,
Of
what was
course
that?
he was.
What did you say?
I remember watching Minder once going on a full-on rant about it because I think someone mentioned my name that I had a macro set up for it, which I did. I had a button that just spams F for me, so I could literally just spam it, go grab a drink, come back, my inventory's full of apple. It was great.
Oh, geez, it's all coming out in chat. The one, didn't you have a base inside of that glitched industrial? But there were so many things I just never knew of because I never really bothered. Like, I never worked out how to do the swim glitch. Didn't interest me. And Lexi's saying you would kill a man and he had like 300 apples in his backpack. Fuck yeah, I used to do
The
that.
dream.
I loaded up on apples when I was on Pipsy. Eat them
On certain
motherfuckers
servers,
all
if you
day.
didn't do it, you're just at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah. Yep.
The doctors were staying well away from you with your apple a day, weren't they?
Oh, you know it.
But it was, you know, those servers were all about the PvP chaos. You know, I had a mate who was very, you know, he had very high standards and that. And then I pointed out to him, but you spam at the well.
True.
You know, about the only person I know of who was above it all was barely infected. It used to be hilarious watching the Running Man and FT go to the well and they'd just spam at the well, drinking it. And fucking Renee would sit there. He'd get his water bottle out. He would fill his water bottle. He would drink his water. The other two were already 100 meters down the fucking road. They'd already filled up on water. And they're like, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm drinking the water the way the game is intended it to be drunk. It's just
his immersion. He was immersed.
Yeah. And then you could also, the walls with like around the airfield and that, when they've got a gap under them, you could run at them and then go to crouch and you just fall through the wall. My mate used to do that as well. And I said, you're not doing it the way it's meant to be done. You're meant to crouch down and then crawl under and stand up. And to his credit, once I pointed out, he never fucking did it again. Used to annoy the crap out of us because we'd all just dive straight through the wall and get up and keep on running. And he'd still be 5 minutes fucking behind us because he'd bloody got down, crawled, and stood up again between every bloody fence.
You can't
And now
do
we
that
can
on
just
a
jump
lot of
over
those
'em.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now you
true.
can bowl them. Moonshine saying, I remember people used to glitch into that wall in Severograd in that one building.
The Camo Building as well. Now that you mention it, it's all the flashbacks of people camping in the camo.
The Camo Building was a terrible one, though, because you'd go in there to loot, and then the only fix they could come up with was they switched off loot. Switched it off
Really? I
completely to
didn't
the
know that.
building. It's sad because the Camo Building was a
Interesting.
damn good building. A very good one to try and breach and clear as well. I've seen so many good videos of people fighting over a Camo Building, and then when they turned the loot off, there was no reason for people to go in there. D-Hop saying, I always had Russians shit-talking me inside of Camo.
Yeah.
I always had someone shit-talking you inside of Camo.
Yeah, at least they were talking back. Although the ones that would usually sit in there and get cheeky with you are usually the most fun ones to deal with, even though it was under.
Yeah. But at least people worked out quickly how you could check. You could go into first person and just run up the wall, I think, and you could see through it a bit, and you could then find out if there were people camping in there. And then the usual to and fro of insult throwing got started. Flashlight in first person, to Hop is saying.
Smart man.
Well, has anyone got anything else they want to bring up?
No, I think that was pretty much the lot on my end.
Yeah, me too. Nothing to add to that.
Bundy, our special guest, is there anything you would like to do, say? When's your next video coming out?
Working on it currently. It's taken a while because we have been hard at work working on our own server.
Yep.
The Fubars. Because the Alan and I, we have parted ways with our regular servers because we don't agree with the mods on there. They're just way too shit. They're just shit is the best word I can. We've been quite upset with it.
D-Hop's in chat
but
right
then
now, mate. He's taking offence at this.
Well, he's no longer associated. He has seen the light, and he is with the Stephen. Thank you.
Oh, really? Well, there you go.
Yeah, he was also in our boat. He fucking had enough of the shit mods and the things happening. And the last straw for us was the spawn selector mod. We just, as soon as that came on,
I saw that, and I was like, "What the hell?"
I logged on one night. I'm like, yeah, I'll just jump on. I'll run around and see if I can do something funny, get a snipe slot. I don't know. And that popped up. Sent a message to Alan like, hey, look what they've got. Yep, we never played on there. We ain't playing on there again. We can't do it. And then it sucks because their only other server is Pepsi, and then it's, no offense to them, never really full. So
Lax is saying 1SK needs more guns.
Jesus, don't even give them ideas, Lax. Don't do it. So we want to make a server that's right in the middle. Something that's not too vanilla that you kind of go bored trying to play. No offense to you, Mr. Baty. And not so modded that it's just a PvP shitfest. We want to find that nice little sweet spot. And then steal all the Oceanic players and keep them for themselves.
Yep. And how long before this is coming live?
We're not sure yet, because learning all this stuff and how painful it is, just like the loot economy and all the little things that I have no idea about that Hop's been fucking amazing with, helping us with. So could be soon-ish, at least testing. We want to start testing soon because the loot economy is fucked to work on.
Lex is saying you're right, that it's out of control at the moment, to be honest.
Yeah. We from the day they put the watermark at the top right, I was kind of checked out, and then more and more mods just got more and more annoying to play. So we want to find that nice little sweet spot, just so people don't have to fucking deal with the constant spawning at Northwest Airfield and PvPing. People that want those survival aspects back, but not so much that it's hardcore. It's there. It's a good option.
I'll definitely check it out because you said about how I'm constant currently on the goal for the most hardcore playable server. I'll preface it with that, but where the likes of yourself, Lax would probably get bored shitless. Like I streamed it at the beginning. I don't know whether you were watching. I died 4 fucking times in a row, and I like to think I'm pretty okay at survival. I died 4 times in a row. I could see the light. I could see the fucking light of survival, but for me, that's enjoyable though. For 99.9% of DayZ players, that's going to be boring as fuck. It's like, I can't even get a fucking start. What's the point? I like the challenge.
Yeah, see, I think, I agree with you on that one, but I think I am sort of kind of in that 99%. In a sense, like I like hardcore, and I think it's definitely got its place, and I think we definitely need more hardcore. However, for me, from a gameplay aspect, maybe I'm a bitch. You can tell me either way, but when it comes to playing this game, when you spawn and you just constantly dying because you cannot find a can of fucking beans or something, like that to me just isn't enjoyable. If you cannot physically survive because loot is so scarce that you can't even find food, even if you find, and it's even worse when you find like a chicken and you're like, oh yes, I've got 2 chicken breasts, fantastic. Or but then you realize you don't have a knife, so you can't hack it up to get that chicken breast, or you haven't got any rags or anything. There's no jackets around to cut up to make rags, so you can make yourself a fireplace and things like that. It's just when it comes up, when it's literally a case of spawn, die, retry, it's just, you might as well just go on a PvP server at that point and just start shooting shit.
Mac has just said in chat, Boydie, with all due respect, that kind of hardcore is boring. But the person who's just commented underneath at Noble Assassins, when we were talking about the server, he almost had a fucking wet dream, because we say this all the time, but that's the beauty of a game like DayZ. is there is so many ways to play it. And what one person...
There's a home for everyone.
Yeah. And that's modding is the best fucking thing that happened to DayZ. And
don't let Hellfire hear you say that.
But as the expansion team said to me, what modders are doing wouldn't be possible without the game state that it's in right now. But the sheer volume of different mods that cater to these insane over-the-top like 1SK, the middle of the ground like what yours is going to be, or now we're able to create a server that, like I said, 99.999 recurring % of people will go, fuck no, never getting on that in my life, when you can't even find a can of beans within an hour of fucking looting.
So that's the trouble with the Australian player base is we've only got 2 servers to pick from, and both of them are very, very heavily modded. I mean, we do have the hardcore ones, but in terms of population, there's only 2. And so we want to slide right in there as that really nice option for, you want some PvP, it's going to be there. You're going to have to work for it. If you want to survive, it's there. You can do it. We're going to have some really cool things too.
Are you going to have AI trader?
What are your thoughts on traders, Baty? And Brim, Val? What is everyone's thoughts?
I would say don't do it initially and see if someone wants to rise to the challenge. That said, I did a trader on DayZ Underground, but I was streaming it, and my God, we got fucked in the ass every bloody time. Always getting raided. It's preferable if you can get players to do it, because then you're running off of the actual economy of the game. But on that point, the DayZ expansion team is working on a so-called smart AI trader, and also the one who is in chat is also working on a smart AI trader, which will work off of an actual set inventory that you can specify, and it will basically go off of, if someone comes in and trades something, then that will add to the stock value or the stock amount of that item. If everyone comes in and takes all the HK417s, then it's going to be no. But if you sell them a HK417, you're going to get premium money because it's an in-demand item that they don't have in stock. So it's also got dynamic pricing. And this is what the one and the expansion team are both working on. So the existing AI traders, I personally hate them because they just allow people to, you know, I've been on 1SK, I've been on Pipsy. You do one run of a military location like Pavlovo, run straight to Green Mountain, and then you can buy whatever you want and be kitted and walk out of there like Johnny Rambo. Whereas if it was an actual economy, fuck yeah, that's an exciting fucking idea for a trader.
There's a current mod on there now. I'm not sure how good it is, but I did see it on the workshop. Similar, that's exactly what it's meant to do, but there wasn't very many reviews and it wasn't too popular, so I'm not sure that
I've heard it's work in progress still. It's someone left a comment on it, because I had people pointing out that that there was already one when I was fanboying over the expansion project, telling me about it. But yeah, it's apparently a work in progress, so I'm not sure how well it works. DeOne might know. I imagine he keeps an eye on that sort of stuff. DeOne's a modder, if you don't know.
Oh yeah, very sexy man.
Let me guess he's
I think that's the issue we're having with traders at the moment as well on our server is trying to figure out that nice sort of middle ground between making it so it's not like you said, Boydie, run into the first military base, looting up, and then suddenly you can go and sell everything and everything's fine again. But also trying to have it so that it's not too hardcore where you can't find anything, you can't sell anything. You know, we've currently moved all our traders up north because we're on the Chernarus map. So we've moved all our traders up towards the north end of the map so that you, at least once you've got everything, you've got to make a bit of a run. And our black market trader is the one that's got all the really good gear in it that you can buy and sell, but that's a KOS zone. So if you're in there, you run the risk of getting your head blown off. So it is weird. I think with the AI traders, I think there is a way of setting them up right and setting them up well, but it's not an easy task. And I'm glad that I'm not the one that's tasked with doing that, because that would do my head in.
Are you guys watching chat at the moment? The trash talking between Lax, DeOne, and DeHop at the moment is next level. Apparently, Dewan is an OG Fubarbundy stream sniper. Lax is trying to get to hop a job with 1SK.
Laxter's got his big old stick out there, giggity, and just stirring the pot.
He is.
Allow me to.
Dewan is actually saying he is, and he has a clip to prove it as well, Bundy.
Oh, really? Cheeky man.
He's a very cheeky man. I don't know if you know, but Dewan was actually involved with 420 Gaming.
I remember that. Wasn't the one of the first guests you had on the
yes, he was. Yes, he
was. Podcast as well.
The very first episode we did, and 420 Gaming came up, and Dewan was in the chat watching it, and he goes, "Yeah, I was one of the admins for 420 Gaming." Now you remember 420 Gaming?
I remember
that. Vaguely. Refresh my memory.
They were the big baddies of DayZ. They were the ones who got their hands on the stolen game files and then created the servers which had all the armor assets running around in it.
I remember now. Yeah.
But Moonshine's just said, if I play a server like Pipsy or 1SK, I love traders. When I play DDU, I would hate a trader. It depends on the server. And that's what you've got to work out, mate, is what sort of vibe you're going with.
Well, let me divulge a little information, and we're copywriting this, so I'll get my team of lawyers to jump on you guys. Yeah, so we're going to go with the tiered traders.
Ooh,
tiered traders, right? So you're going to have your basic bitch trader. He's going to have all your foods, and he's going to have your medical stuff at a reasonable price. In terms of guns, the best you're going to get is maybe a Mosin. Without a scope, you ain't getting the big boy guns. You want to get them, you have to go to either the medium or the high tier trader. The medium tiered, we're going to have at the Northwest Airfield, South Mound, right there. So if you want to get to it, you're risking a lot to get there. And if you want the high tier, big boy guns, lots of vests, armor and stuff, you go into Tissy in the firing range. No safe zones, only the basic bitch, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's a work in progress, but it stops a lot of people from running around with plate carriers and Gorka helmets and HKs and Barretts. If you want it, you're going to have to work for it. And
I don't like the idea of a lone bloke standing on fucking South Mount in the middle of the Northwest Airfield with no cover.
Oh, well, we've built a little compound for them, so you can do it in slight safety, but not a lot of safety. Actually, Mr. Hot made the Northwest one. So
okay, we're gonna play a file here. It is 23 seconds of audio. Dewan has just posted it.
Get ready! Daddy, touch me! Tuck me down! Touch me, yeah! Oh, shit.
I remember this.
I had one bullet left. One bullet. Oh.
You remember that, do you, Bundy?
I remember that. That was at Jesus, below the airfield in one of the hangars. That was hilarious though. I knew that was stream sniping me. I was just being cheeky as well, flipping them off, giving them some shit.
Yeah. And that's something that I do regret. And I know when I did the interview with you, I think this was the thing you said you missed the most. And I do agree with it. As much as I love hardcore, Greenie and I, the guy who's helping me with the server, we've both been no matter how hard we make it, there still has to be a way for people to have fun and still have a reason to play. And one of the things I miss, like you, is the being able to hear people after you die. Because I know for you it was more you want them to be able to hear you than you hear them, so you could trash talk them and do your bitch line that you do. But
no,
yes, but I just miss. Sometimes you would hear something like, it might be the person, oh, I'm so sorry, or the trash talk or whatever. But it's an R-rated game. We're all grown-ups. If someone's going to trash talk you, you might get angry, but build a bridge, get over it, and hunt them down and fucking do the same to them.
Spin of concrete, mate.
Never heard that before. What does that mean?
Spoon of concrete.
I've never heard that saying before.
Really?
Yeah.
You city slicker, you.
Spoon of concrete.
Have a spoon on concrete and harden up.
Oh, spoon on. Take a couple of teaspoons
Yeah, like
of concrete and harden the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the good. Yeah. That's my.
I thought you were saying
Bushman coming out.
Spooner.
Spooner.
Actually, yeah, as in spooner.
Spooner.
A spoon of concrete. Yeah, I get it now. I get it. And don't I feel stupid?
Un-Australian.
Very un-Australian. Very un-Australian.
But also some cheeky things like making hunting worth it. So, selling pelts and stuff like that for all the survival aspects and stuff. That's stuff we're really keen on. We just need to get the loot economy down, which Hop has been amazing at. But we need to thoroughly break it in and test it out.
Oh, they're still going at it in the chat there. Lax is scared of inland. Why need 90% of the map when Electro and Cherno exist? I used to make fun of you for that, though, as well, Bundy.
I was actually thinking about this the other day when you showed the message to jump on the pod. I remember that one time I said something in a video. I was like, "Oh, fuck off, Boyd. Are you going to say something in the comments about me being up north and not know where I was?"
But you admitted it in the video, which made it even better. You're like, yes, I've got no fucking idea where I am.
That's because I can never make it off the coast because all the fun stuff will be happening there. And then when I finally get off the coast, nothing will happen. So you go back to the coast.
Yeah. Bundy, thank you so much for coming along, mate. I love having special guests. I think we'll have to try and arrange to get Lax on as well. He seems
we
to
definitely
have a good
need
time.
Lax on.
We do.
My pleasure.
We need to do a drinking podcast with Lax where we all just get absolutely shit faced. That's what we need.
Yeah, sounds good.
Oh fuck.
All of us, open invitation to everybody that wants to join in. Let's just get white girl wasted.
I've never had the pleasure of running into Lax. He's the only guy I've never met.
I would love to see you and him do a stream together. Like I watched him with OG, and oh my god, the hilarity of those two playing together was fucking amazing.
I constantly see
fucking amazing.
Him and Ben running to each other.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Always at the Electro PD.
So you've got a new server coming, a new video on the way. Anything else? When are we going to get some Bundy merch, mate? When are we going to get some Bundy merch?
I actually hit up a guy one time and was going to make it, and then I disappeared for 10 months and then never did anything with it. But still have the designs, so that tasty 1K is around the corner. You never know.
Streamlabs OBS, mate, or the Streamlabs website. It is super fucking easy. Even a pleb like me has managed to make basic merch. With your editing skills, mate, you could make some kick-ass stuff, and I guarantee you, mate, you'll sell a fucking 1,000 times more of it than I do.
I'll probably have some stuff done up by PAX time so I can like walk around it and kiss my own ass all day, wear my own merch.
That's if there is a PAX, mate. Fingers crossed.
Well, yeah, hopefully they're getting... Well, didn't I read something about they're getting stuff back together here in Australia by July time?
Yeah, fingers crossed that it doesn't get worse again, but yeah. Mike and Brim, thank you once again, guys.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
I love doing the podcast, man. And just remember, everyone, this is a community show. The more people we get in here watching it, the better. Because this isn't my show. It's not Brims. It's not Val's. It's not Bundy's. It's everyone's. We talk shit. We have a laugh. We reminisce and we go off topic. And yeah, it's good. I like it.
Didn't we, though?
Love you all.
Catch you guys later on.
Ciao for now.
Goodbye. See you later.
You fucking cheeky cunt. He always fucking does that to me. Every fucking time I end up in Discord, he always fucking says that to me. He gets in before I can fucking say it. It's his fucking shtick. I'm surprised you're still in here laughing because normally you just fucking boom, he's gone.
Ciao for now, bugger off.
Bitch. I hate saying that because I always feel retarded when I fucking say that because it rolls off your tongue. Go on, say it once for everyone watching.
Oh shit! I need a moment to do it. Go ahead, steal another one of mine. Leave it a good note.
There you go. Bitch.
Oh, cheeky.
Catch you later, mate.
Ciao for now.